Hello guys, this is Scott Lecrae, and welcome to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. This is the extended demo that was given out to all the backers of the game. And I just thought I wanted to showcase the game because it's looking really good. So I thought I'd do a little, I guess this is a light speed run. It was only my second time through the game. So I'm going to be skipping everything just to keep it flowing well and also, you know, be time conscious in a speed run as you need to be. But yeah, this is only my second time through the game, so to say it is unoptimized would be probably the understatement of the year, but I didn't do too bad. So, there was an earlier demo that we got, and a lot of things have changed since then. Probably the most notable thing is that they've added Miriam's screaming at me. They added voice acting for all the characters, as well as like some story stuff, which there are all these little cutscenes here have dialogue that's fully voiced, which is really cool. I really like it. Miriam controls a little better, I think. A little less stiff, seems a bit more fluid, and she certainly animates a lot better too. There may be a lot more changes to come, but that's certainly some cool stuff I've noticed already. There's a lot more equipment, there's more shards, and of course there's a much bigger area to explore. In the original demo, we simply had this ship, the Galleon Minerva, I believe its name is. But now we actually go into the castle proper, as well as a little bit of like the castle grounds outside. Just picked up a tunic, we'll whack that on, get some extra defense. There was also added save rooms, because the nature of the game is a lot longer now in this extended version, so we have save rooms, which are very cool. You can actually get Miriam to just kind of like sit on the chair after you save, and it's very, very cool. It looks very cool. It reminds me of like Dracula in Symphony of the Night, just chilling on his throne and like smashing the wine glass. Very similar. So yeah, I tried to grab like a fair bit of equipment through here. I kind of had an idea of what my final equipment would be. I definitely knew what my final weapon was going to be. But I wasn't sure, like, if I would remember where a lot of the like, armor is, but I just kind of, like, went with whatever I got. It was pretty slapdash. But it worked well enough. In the initial run I did, I hit level 11, and that's where I finished the demo at. I believe in this one I get to level 8, so it was quite, at least comparatively low level. I'm sure you could do it on a lower level, but that's just what I did in this sort of casual speedrun. A lot of these chests are just kind of along the way, so I just grabbed them, because why wouldn't I? It's worth like the little microsecond. Or I guess it's probably closer to a full second, but regardless, it's worth doing. Love the music, so good. The monsters are looking a little better, I think. And certainly their behavior has changed a lot. These little things didn't used to jump, so they were very easy to deal with, and now that they've added that in, it's a lot better. Because that was one thing that sort of in general was kind of poor about the original demos. It was very easy, and they've certainly upped the difficulty a bit here. Just picked up a short sword, which I'm going to switch to because it's got a little more range than the shoes, I think. It's a little stronger regardless. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I've definitely enjoyed the increased difficulty of this version. And I hope that is reflective of the rest of the game. It's got a pretty good, like, it wasn't, like, frustratingly difficult. It was just, like, the right amount. Kind of that perfect, I guess, equilibrium. Of, like, it being challenging, but not being overwhelming. Which is very hard to, like, get that balance right, especially when you're, like, trying to make a game for a big audience. I guess, like, they're not really trying to make a game for a massive audience with this. Like, it's gonna be a pretty niche audience compared to, say, some of the more big-budget titles that are out today. But, it's still difficult to get that balance right, and I have mad respect for the fine-tuning that they've done already, just in between these two demos. It also looks a bit better. I think they've, like, changed the shaders or something, but, like, everything just looks a lot more colorful and it really pops. It kinda, like, I was disappointed that they decided to go for 3D models instead of, like, the classic sprite artwork, the pixel artwork that the old games have and look absolutely beautiful. But I think that they've done enough now that this looks good enough. It looks beautiful enough now, despite the fact that they're using 3D models. They've worked hard on it, and I really like the improvements they've made. So we've just got a rapier, which has it's very similar to the short sword, just kind of has a quicker rate of attack, so I was like, I'll use that, I guess. Although, I believe that's largely irrelevant, because yes, we just picked up the claymore, which is going to be the weapon I use for the majority of this run. We will switch it out towards the end for a better weapon, but I've always loved the greatswords in these games because they have such long range, they have such like a huge like attack frame. You can hit like all around you, like even like to the back of you, I believe in some games. I think you can in this one too. And they also do a lot of damage, so it's a weapon that rewards you thinking about your attacks and also your positioning, and that's something that I really like. But that's what's cool about this game is that, and other Igavanias of this ilk, is that you can like pick a weapon to fit whatever playstyle you like. Mine's a bit more patient and observant and collected, so the greatsword is very good for me. Although, funnily enough, this boss has changed a little in a few ways. Aesthetically, she's a little different. She used to have really giant breasts, but they've made them a bit smaller now, which is fine. Whatever. I kind of liked like the massive ones. Sort of made her look more otherworldly, so I didn't mind it. But regardless, she looks fine. I mean, she looks otherworldly enough. Let's be honest. The other thing that they've changed, though, is that she has a couple of new attacks, and a couple of them caught me off guard. One of them was that, like, tentacle attack that hit me earlier. But very easy with the greatsword. There were only, like, 3 weapons in the original demo, so the challenge was actually pretty comparable. I think we had the Kung Fu shoes, the sword. I can't even remember what else we had, but just having that weapon makes it so much easier. So there's a little splash art there where it says Bloodstained, but I skipped it, just again in the interests of keeping this rather short. And now we're into the new area, which is sort of a destroyed town area, which is pretty neat. This chest is worth picking up as it has 500 gold in it. And we will be finding somewhere where we can purchase some items soon. So definitely worth grabbing if you're playing this for the first time. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't grab a chest unless you were speedrunning it like I am, but yeah, that one's worth getting regardless. Because we can buy some armor with it, which I believe is what I end up doing. Yeah, grab what's in here, leather chest guard, which we could use, but we're going to be... Well, I'm equipping it anyway, force of habit. But we're going to be buying something better here anyway, so not really that important.
What are you looking to buy?
Grab the scale armor. There it is, 500G. Which is, as far as I know, that's the best, like,
is this right?
chestplate armor you can get in this demo. If you found a stronger one, let me know. Now that we've got that, let's head over this way. There's a save room just through here. This guy can, like, upgrade your shards, but we're not going to bother doing that for this speedrun. We'll save here, and then we'll head further into the castle. Or, we're actually not in the castle yet, we'll head towards the castle. Into the castle grounds, and then into the castle proper. Oh, here I was just trying out these little shards, because I got one for the boss, which I didn't realize on my initial playthrough, and that is bonkers. Unfortunately, I didn't really use it that well in this run, but... Pro tip, it looks pretty good. Alrighty, here we go. We'll head into the castle grounds. Pretty easy to dodge these enemies through here. Some bullets. You can actually get guns now. which is pretty interesting. I didn't grab the gun that's in the ship, but there is one back there. I don't really like them though, they feel awkward and they do very little damage, but I'm sure if you get like special ammo they're going to deal extra damage, so they might be fun. They might be necessary for some of the harder bosses. So we've just got some elf ears, which is an accessory we can equip. Increases our intelligence, our defense, and I think con, but we mainly want it for defense, that's all we really care about for this speedrun. That's a little dagger, which is pretty terrible. I mean, I'm sure you could do like some cool like dagger runs or something like that, which is something that I kind of think would be really cool to do on this channel when this game comes out proper, is do like, you know, I don't know, Kung Fu Shoe only run. Like, just silly things like that. Throw this and the drawbridge will fall down and we're heading into the castle. Let's go. Oh, so beautiful. Wow. And we get new music, which I am very happy about. This definitely sounds like an Amane track, and I'm so glad that she's one of the composers working on this game. She is probably one of the best video game composers in the business, by far. Oh, the screen just went black for a bit. That's because I accidentally had to Alt-Tab there because I had a filter on my computer which was making the screen go orange, which is it's to stop blue light to prevent you from, you know, staying awake for too long, but I didn't want that on for this recording, obviously. So apologies for that little blackout, but it'll be fine. Psycho Mantis would be proud of me. Okay, this guy is pretty huge, pretty baller. But again, the Greatsword does really good work at just kind of keeping our distance and taking him out. Thankfully that guy couldn't hit me because the platforms were in the way. I did this basically immediately after I beat it, so for the first time, so I basically knew where I was going for the most part, although this was a slight detour that I didn't need to take. Oh, this music, oh my god. I'm so happy. It's a blessing that we get a soundtrack that Yamane works on, especially an orchestrated one, because they got a full orchestra to perform this, and it just sounds so good. These portraits in the background, I believe, are like a backer reward. Oh, here's a little glitch. Yeah, that happens a few times. I don't know exactly what causes it. It happens again when I'm fighting some bats. It's got something to do with the bats for sure. Yeah, there we go. Again. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, those portraits, like I was saying, were a backer reward for people who backed the game to a very large degree. I'm not quite sure what tier that was. I would imagine it would be several hundred minimum, though, maybe more. So, kudos to them. Thanks for that, I guess. I just backed, I backed enough to get myself a physical copy, which I'm getting on Switch, despite the fact that I don't have a Switch. I know that eventually I will want a handheld version of this game, so it's actually probably one of the, more convincing things to make me want to get a Switch. I mean, Nintendo aren't doing great in that regard. New Smash looks good, and the new Pokemon games look pretty good. But I'm not really interested in anything else that's not on Wii U, because I have a Wii U already. So yeah, I backed enough to get that version and a Steam copy. I think that's it. I didn't get anything else. Which is fine. I don't really want anything else. Anything else I could want, I can always get. If I really, really want it, I'm sure I'll be able to get it for a price, but I'm not really, a physical copy is, enough for this. That's all I really care about. So you notice I've messed up a lot here. Trying to get across here. But that's how it goes. Certainly a place I could tidy up on a future speedrun. This is Alfred. For those of you who have played Curse of the Moon, you'll recognize him. Curse of the Moon is the 8-bit Classicvania bonus game we got for backing this. And it's also available on Steam for a paltry $10, and I highly recommend it if you like sort of old-school NES hard games. It's very refined, very polished, and a lot of fun. And there's a fair bit of replayability as well. Lots of different modes and different characters you can use and branching pathways. Really, really good. It's worth way more than $10. I would pay $60 for that. It's amazing. I think I put in about at least over 20 hours, so that's pretty good for that kind of game. This game, I'm hoping I'll put in, you know, over 100 hours. Which, given that it will probably have extra modes as well, is quite likely. So I just got a stone mask, which is another accessory, which gives me some extra defense and stuff. Which is good. And the classic enemy type, these weeds, which are featured heavily in previous games. These archers are so annoying, I really dislike them. Until I got to the point where I was 2-hitting them, they caused me major issues. Also, I was used to 3-hitting those guys, so got hit again. That's because I was a bit of a high level when I got here on my first playthrough. It's just so good, it's so fun, it's classic, it's everything you want from a game like this. It's beautiful, it's fun, it's challenging. I mean, what more do you want from an action game? Replayability, which this is going to have in spades. So many weapons, so many shards. And I barely even used the shards in here, in this playthrough. In fact, I don't know if I even did. So the Flambeget is it's basically an upgraded greatsword, and it's what we're going to use for the rest of the playthrough. Now I'm hitting things, like, at the amount that I'm used to, which is good. So we're basically up to the final stretch now. Now that we've got the Flambeget, we're basically heading to the final boss of the demo. Which is going to be a little surprise, a very cool surprise, and I'm actually going to let the cutscene play, because something very cool happens. Those of you who know who's involved in this game from a voice acting perspective may have an inkling as to what that is. But I won't spoil it. Let's just say this final boss is somewhat special. Oop, and I'm almost dead here. So I'm gonna have to crack a potion, which is regrettable, because having potions for that final fight would have been good. But, regardless, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I glitched again there. Somehow. I don't know what causes it. Is it like some sort of animation model glitch with the greatsword, the two-handed weapons? I don't know. I'll have to do some more testing. But yeah, there are a few glitches. Stuff like that. I've seen some items get stuck, but I'm gonna shut up for now because we are at the... No, we're not. We're not at it at all. I am wrong. We're almost at it. Yeah, some glitches with like some items getting stuck in walls and stuff like that, so... There's definitely some polish that needs to be done, but so much polish has happened since the initial demo that, like, I'm sure they're gonna do it. What's in here? Blunderbuss, there's a gun. I won't be using that, though. Alright, so here's our final save room. Which I'm glad I went to, because, yeah, my first attempt at the boss, my first several attempts at the boss, if I'm being honest, didn't go that well. And that's because I'm underleveled, and it's kind of challenging. Anyway, here we go.
Stop right there. I knew what you are. That ghastly air about you. You reek of sorcery, Shardbinder.
And what am I to make of you?
What a badass! Zangetsu, David Hayter, oh yeah.
Me? I am your executioner.
Oh shit. Let's go, son! This is cool. This is an awesome fight. It reminds me of the fights in Dawn of Sorrow when you fight Dimitri and Dario. Is his name Dario? I think his name is Dario. Very similar, that kind of human-on-human chaotic action. And I love that every time Zangetsu grunts, it's Snake. You hear Snake. Also, just hearing David, like, say Japanese stuff is really cool. Because he did grow up there, actually. Well, not entirely, but he spent some time growing up there. That's a little counter he has. I fall for that so many times in this attempt. Don't be like me. If he's taunting you, don't attack him. I'm just a sucker for that shit. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you're taunting me? Fuck you. Gets me nearly every time. So there's that little projectile which explodes. You might notice that he actually has inflamed his weapon, and that causes him to do, like, ridiculous splash damage on his hits. which is something that I also hadn't really experienced too much in my first playthrough, because I got him pretty easily with the extra damage, so that's something that I had to adjust to. It was a good dodge. I am very screwed on this attempt, as you can see. Alright, round 2. So, I think this went worse from memory? Well, it's not going well, that's for sure. See, every time. Every Tim. I cry every Tim. But, whilst I have done terribly, I believe I worked out here that I can get, like, quite a number of hits in and actually kind of stun lock him if I get enough through. There we go, like that. So that was good, a good learning experience, despite the fact that I got absolutely wrecked early on, and I do not succeed. Kinda was just going for broke here, because I'm like, I'm gonna lose. You can go under that when he does the chain, which is neat. Come out the other side. See, look! Did it again! Every time! Alright, third attempt. Let's do this! Ow. That's the thing that, like, the one thing that's missing from my game right now is that I'm not dodging those, like, little slashes he does. Which is something that I definitely needed to improve on. Also, getting better at dodging that consistently. Like, going under is better than going back because of the ridiculous splash damage. Baller music, by the way. I don't think this is a Yamane track. It might be, but it kind of strikes me more as a Yamada track. I believe that's his name, Ippo Yamada. If I've gotten that wrong, I do apologize. See that? Wow, I thought I was fine there. Alright, fourth attempt. I believe! He's so cool. I'm pretty sure that there'll be a Zangetsu mode, and I'm so excited to play through this game. I mean, I'm excited enough to play through it as Miriam, but I'm so excited to then potentially play through it as Zangetsu. Like, that will be amazing. Not that Miriam isn't cool, I love Miriam. But, like, I just want to play as a character voiced by David Hayter, that's amazing. Not to mention that Zangetsu was playable in Curse of the Moon, and that was heaps of fun. I wonder if Alfred and Jeeble will be as well, because they were playable in Curse of the Moon. That would be so cool. That would be amazing. If you could 4 different characters. Wow, and I'm dead again. So, is 5th time the charmer? I sure hope so, because I'm running out of interesting things to say. Not that that matters. I'm sure you guys are fine. I mean, this game's cool enough visually and orally that my commentary probably doesn't need to be amazing. But yeah, I think by this point I've gotten the pattern down really well. I know what I'm doing, and I know how to react to everything, except for the taunt! Oh, goddamn. Pro tip, don't fall for the taunt. It's just about getting as much damage in as I can. Oh, got hit. Whoop. See, I know how to dodge the fire, I know how to dodge his little attacks. I know how to dodge the fire, gets hit by fire. Classic. Classic! I believe I can fly. I believe I can... Yes, there we go. And I'm not going to show you anything else. So thanks for watching, guys. My completion time was just over 19 minutes, which I think is pretty good. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.